some networking ideas that could help you in the job search. Networking, face-to-face conversations or telephone or email conversations, it's still the most effective job search method that's out there. Remember, a simple hello could lead to a million different things. So let's talk about just a few networking ideas that you may want to implement in your internship search. One idea is called informational interviewing. And what this is, it's simply talking with somebody about their job or the company that they work for. It's not interviewing for a job, it's interviewing for information. So you find somebody that's doing a job that you think is cool or working at a company that you think is really neat, and you contact them and you ask for some of their time to learn about their career and the company that they work for. The great thing about informational interviewing is it's a good way to help you learn more about a career. It's a good way to make a contact in a particular field. And it's also a good way to maybe possibly uncover job leads. And the way that this might work, let's say that you look around your community and you identify somebody that's doing a job that you think is really, really cool. Maybe for me, I identify somebody that's a director of marketing somewhere. And what I could do, and what you could do, is I could call that person and say something to the effect of, hey, my name is Steve Sellers. I'm doing some job research on what it's like to work in the marketing field. Could I come talk to you about what you do just to learn a little bit more about the field? Now, when you make this first call, there's two important things that you need to tell this person to keep them from hanging the phone up on you. First of all, you need to quickly tell them, I'm not interviewing for a job. I don't want to turn in my resume. I don't want to fill out an application. I simply want to visit with you about what it's like to work in this field. The second thing you need to tell them is, I know you're really, really busy. So 15 minutes, that's all the time that I want to take from your schedule. Offer to buy them a cup of coffee. Whatever you need to do to encourage them to say yes to this appointment. So hopefully they say, sure, come on, I'll visit with you. And if they do, you want to dress professionally for this informational interview. And you may not need to wear a business suit, but we certainly don't want to wear our jeans and flip-flops, right? So you want to dress professionally for this interview, and you want to come to the interview armed with some good questions. Questions like, what do you like about your job? What do you not like about your job? Where did you go to school? Tell me about your education. How did you get interested in this particular career field? And you know this as well as I do. People like to talk about themselves. So your 15 minutes is likely to turn into 30 or to 45 minutes, because I think most people enjoy telling their story to other people, especially people that are interested. So hopefully your interview turns into 30, 45 minutes, and then at the end of your time together, you should ask a question like, so if you were me, what would you do to break into this field? And the response you get, you may get some really good information in response to that question. Maybe they give you a job lead. Maybe they say, hey, Joe Johnson is hiring in his department. You should contact him. Or maybe they tell you about professional associations or groups or organizations that you should be a part of where you can find additional job leads. So there's everything to gain and not a lot to lose by doing informational interviewing. I know it pushes you out of your comfort zone, and it's hard to call a stranger and ask them for time to do an informational interview. But if you can make yourself do that, I think what you can get is, one, you can learn pluses and minuses of that particular career, and every career has pluses and minuses. Two, you can make a contact. You meet that person, you get to know that person a little bit. Let's say 3 months down the road, they have an internship opportunity or a job opportunity. If you apply, you're not a stranger anymore. They're going to remember, oh yeah, that's the guy who bought me a cup of coffee. I remember him. And they're much more likely to look at your information more in depth. And third, you may get job leads. If the person you informational interview with says you should call Joe Johnson, you could call Mr. Johnson and say, hey, Mr. Johnson, Paula Jones told me I should contact you. Oh, you know Paula? And there you go. So they're much more receptive to talking with you about that particular opening. Other ideas are you can network with faculty, family, and friends. You know, in networking, it's simply a conversation. It's an informal conversation with people about jobs. It really isn't asking somebody to do a job search for you. It's just telling them what you're trying to accomplish. It's not a 20-minute conversation probably. It's probably more like a 2-minute conversation. So here's a couple of examples of what networking might look like. I mean, networking could look like you go into a professor's office, maybe during office hours. Maybe you bring a copy of your resume and you just say, hey, Professor Johnson, I'm really looking for a summer internship in marketing. Would love to do something in the sports area. I'm from the Dallas area, so that would work out perfect. Have you heard of anything? Do you have any ideas? If you come across something, would you mind forwarding my resume or contacting me and I can follow up? I mean, that's it. Short conversation, probably 2 minutes at the very most. And, you know, Professor Johnson isn't going to do a job search for you, but what I've learned is that people, you know, they won't do a job search for you, but if they hear something in the course of their day and they think, oh yeah, that's what Steve was looking for, they will reach back and let you know so that you can follow up with that. So that could be networking with faculty. You can network with family members. Maybe you have an Uncle Bob in Dallas. You know, networking with him might look something like this. Maybe you call him on the phone and say, hey, Uncle Bob, I'm looking for an internship in Dallas this summer. Would love to do something in the sports area, something in the sports industry. If you hear of something, could you let me know? I'll email you my resume, and if you come across something, maybe you could forward it or just let me know and I can follow up with that company or person. That's it. Again, not a big, long conversation, and you know, Uncle Bob may do some job search for you, but likely he's just going to, you know, if he comes across something in his day that he thinks, oh yeah, that's what he was looking for, he'll reach back to you. Networking could be between students. Maybe it's two students sitting in a class and student one says to student two, man, I would love to do a sports marketing internship this summer in Dallas. You know anybody that's done something like that? And who knows? You know, they may have a friend that's done that. Their dad may own a sports company. I mean, you never know. I would encourage you to talk to anyone and everyone about what you want to try to do with the internship. You know, a simple hello can lead to a million different things. So talk to everyone, family, friends, professors, secretaries, janitors, anyone. You may be surprised at where you uncover job search leads. One last networking tip or idea. Our office does mock interviews. Every month we have employers come on campus and they interview students to help them practice interviewing. This is a wonderful way to make a connection, to meet somebody in the professional world. If you're a distance-only student, you can still participate in mock interviews. You can do it over the phone, and you can you know, perfect your interviewing skills with a real employer, plus make a contact. You know, every semester I'll notice students that have done a mock interview, and then you know, I'll watch them for a semester or so, and it turns out they have an internship or they get a full-time job after that mock interview. And what happened was they connected with an employer, one thing led to another, and it turned into an internship or a full-time job. There's no guarantees of that happening, but the more you interact with employers, the more likely something like that is to happen. So I would encourage you to participate in our mock interview program. You have to be a junior or above, but if you are and you have a resume in our Buff Jobs database system, you can participate in the mock interview program. All right, watch our next video for more tips on finding an internship, tips to make your internship successful, and partnering with career services in your job search. Thanks.